Moon. It has always been a center of attraction for all of us. Moon has a very deep relationship with human history. Removing the barriers of imaginations, man wants to touch the moon. Chasing the same desire, man has continued his efforts year after year to reach the moon. This satellite, 3,84,400 kilometers away from our planet Earth, completes its revolution in 27 days, 7 hours, 43 minutes and 11.47 seconds. In recent years, the increasing load of population on Earth has made the moon become a center of new possibilities. Now, the efforts are in the direction of making it habitable and creating the environment worth living for humans. Representing huge curiosity of mankind, the first human to took off the moon from Kennedy Space Center of America on 20 July 1969. Apollo 11 touched the moon. The first moon traveler Neil Armstrong touched the surface of the moon at 8:26 as per Coordinated Universal Time in the abode of moonlight. It was the first ever tryst of human being with the moon. Neil Armstrong placed his left foot on the moon and said that it was a small human step but a giant leap for the humanity. Humans got neither any habitat nor any flying aliens of his imaginations. All he found there was desolate desert areas and big holes called craters. But the curiosity regarding life on the moon was still alive. Human missions continued to be sent to the moon. Only between 1969 and 1972, as many as 12 space travelers landed on the surface of the moon. They spent about 166 hours on the moon and brought soil and pieces of rocks from there to the Earth. The weight of these samples was more than 385 kilograms. A number of unnamed rockets, robot rovers, and other robotic vehicles were also sent to the surface of the moon for carrying out experiments and to study the atmosphere over there. It includes the Chandrayaan mission of India, which was launched by the Indian Space Research Organization on 22 October 2008. The purpose of this mission was mapping of the surface of the moon and to explore the presence of precious metals. On the 8th of November 2008, one of its impacts separated to land on the southern pole of the moon. The Moon Mineralogy Mapper fitted in it explored frozen water on the surface of the moon. Not only that, but this Chandrayaan also identified many precious and important metals like aluminium, iron, gold, platinum, and helium-3 on the surface of the moon. However, the presence of helium-3 was already traced when Apollo 17 mission had returned from the moon in 1972. According to NASA, about 10 lakh metric ton helium is present on the moon. If the same is excavated properly and brought to the Earth, it can prove a very good alternative for nuclear energy. That's why all the public and private companies all over the world are preparing for mining of helium-3 on the moon. They include Indian Space Agency ISRO. One of the challenges in bringing helium-3 to the Earth is that the scientists have not arrived at the conclusion as to how the helium-3 present on the moon would impact. Apart from this, India doesn't have the kind of reactors which can conduct the energy test of helium-3. However, Indian Space Research Organization is up to building such houses on the moon which may be useful for few days stay and carry out research and mining. For this, 3D printer and robot will be sent. Using the soil and other substances of the moon, these machines will build houses like igloo. But can we make the moon worth living for humans? The scientists believe that in future, we can make it worth living. They have carried out experiments regarding presence of air and water on the surface of the moon. After all these experiments, man has reached at the conclusion that moon can be made worth living through terraforming. Terraforming, a process through which a desolate planet can be converted to a planet with the possibilities of life. But it is not as easy as that. For terraforming, we need a lot of money and a very advanced technology. Besides, the gravitational force of the moon is very less in comparison to the Earth. That's why there is no atmosphere. The moon doesn't have its own magnetic field as well. As a result, it has to sustain the solar wind coming from the sun. During the daytime, its temperature is about 116 to 240 degrees Celsius. The night temperature reaches from minus 173 degrees to 280 degrees Celsius. However, the terraforming of the moon would be more beneficial and less expensive for us in comparison to the terraforming of the Mars. So, come on, let's know the process through which the moon can be made worth living. Atmosphere is needed for life to thrive on the moon. Scientists believe that in order to create atmosphere on the moon, we have to make hundreds of asteroids collide with the surface of the moon. Water and gas deposited in the form of ice in these asteroids would create atmosphere on the surface of the moon. This entire process would take a long time, but it will create atmosphere on the surface of the moon. This atmosphere would contain ample water vapor which would later create oceans on the surface of the moon. But in the absence of magnetic field of the moon itself, this won't be able to stop the solar wind coming from the sun. However, to a great extent, it will stabilize the environment of the moon. After that, we will be able to plant trees on the barren land of moon to make it fertile. But all that is not as easy as it sounds to be. Because as on today, we don't have this kind of advanced technology, but in future, we will surely become so advanced as to terraform other barren planets of our solar system as per requirement of our life. But till then, all that is just like a science fiction movie for us. What opinion do you have regarding this topic? Please do tell us through your comments. If you like the video, please press the like button and share with your friends. Also, if you haven't yet subscribed to our channel, please subscribe it as soon as possible. This is your friend Neha Agarkar. See you in the next video with a new topic. Till then, allow me to call it a day. Namaskar.